Welcome back to another episode of Memory Card, a Level 30 Games podcast that takes a look at the newest titles while drawing a line back on those classics. I'm your host, Drew Mario, and with today I got my boy, Princess Tom.
Yes. So thrilled to be a princess today in this episode.
You are always a pretty princess.
All right, then. I'll take it.
With a slow month of gaming, we decided to deviate just a little bit from gaming to the movie universe that is in theaters right now is the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Mm-hmm. Which I have just gotten out of my viewing and Tom saw a few days ago.
Yes,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I've just been resisting asking what your thoughts were. I was waiting for the record button to be pressed because you are literally like just got home from seeing it. So like you have the freshest of fresh opinions.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack. Before we do, we're going to literally say spoilers because we're going to talk about pretty much all of the Easter eggs and all of the nostalgia that exists in this movie, which there is a lot. And just like the first movie, which made over $1 billion, this one most likely is on pace to beat it or get too close to it, right? I mean,
I think it's ahead of it in box office already, I think.
Yeah, right now I saw 440, and that's within a week, which is crazy.
That's insane.
Right? With it, we have some changes from the first movie, right? We no longer have the Kong family showing up, which I'm okay with because Seth Rogen really took me out of it sometimes, hearing his laugh and his voice when just, I don't know, something about certain voice actors really ruins the mood when you're just like, I love an iconic character. I mean, the whole casting of Chris Pratt originally, but now that it's a second movie, you just kind of soak it up and deal with it, right? But just to start off the bat, let's talk about some games in the past and their influences on this movie. So if you watch the trailers, right, I really enjoy that most of the things that are in there are in this movie, which if you are a big avid moviegoer like Tom and I, most of the time you'll see a trailer and then there'll be scenes cut from the trailer that aren't in the movie, and you're just like, but where does that exist? And I like that the continuity is there. I don't know if you really noticed every trailer you watched. And
I didn't. I did notice that like one or two of the movie posters they released involved like a scene that didn't actually happen. I saw people complaining about that and were like, they were never in boats, and I'm like, okay. But with the trailers, no, I didn't really. I tried to actually not watch as many of them as possible. I was kind of a little miffed at the way Nintendo released some of the information prior to the movie coming out, but we could talk about that a bit later.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about boats, Koopa Troopas were in the airships from Super Mario Brothers 3, which is always one of my favorite like villains when you're
great
talking
theme
about
for the ships as well.
Yeah, and then that bleeds right into the planet that is in Galaxy. It's very reminiscent of Bowser's world, and Bowser Jr. does a decent job of like controlling the Koopalings until Bowser shows up and takes his throne again. One of my favorite throwbacks, which is a fever dream of a game, is Super Mario Brothers 2, when Princess Peach is traveling with Captain Toad. I love his little backpack, and it gets stolen by a Uka. What's his name?
I don't know. I was just calling him the monkey.
When he showed up, I was like a little kid. I was like, yes, I love these monkeys from Super Mario World, Yoshi's Island. But you meet up...
See, I don't even remember him from that. Is that not the same monkey in Mario 64 that takes the hat and is like, yeah, I'm not going to give it back?
I don't think it is. I think they're slightly different. Because what I remember is in Yoshi's Island, you would eat a watermelon and then you'd be able to spit out watermelon seeds. Yeah. And the monkeys were always hanging from different vines and would actually steal the eggs that are following Yoshi.
Oh, okay. See, I don't remember that. All right, so maybe they've used monkeys multiple occasions
But I do remember the 64 one now, and now that I forgot all about him stealing your hat. I do like that at one point Mario loses his hat and you see his hair and you're just like, that's not Mario. He has to have his hat.
I don't remember that either. Oh no.
From the movie or from the games?
No, from the movie. Did he lose his hat in the movie?
Yeah, when he was a baby.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess. Well, that was also kind of a fever dream as well. It seemed like even within the movie.
I mean, there's a lot going on in this movie. So we're going to touch base on Super Mario Brothers 2. Go back to NES days of 1980s, and the villain, who is Wart, is a frog. That they really did justice on, like him using the bubbles and the turnips and all those things, and then his counterpart Mouser and Birdo were also there, and I feel like Birdo had just enough space in the movie that it was like, I don't want to hate you anymore. Like you're kind of cute right now. Let's leave it at that. If you get into the whole lore behind Mario Brothers, like Yoshi and Birdo are engaged, married, dating. I don't know what's going on there, but it's kind of awkward.
Birdo, as we've discussed before, is transgender.
Yeah, and that's fine.
And that's not us making a joke. That is us like reading into like the OG instruction manual on some things. You can do the research. That is a factual statement.
But I really liked that like casino that was going on, and just it was an interesting realm to like you really get involved in a lot of different spaces in this movie.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job of compartmentalizing a lot of the references, and I think that is one of the only reasons I can think of why they opted to go with Galaxy as the sequel as opposed to something else a little bit more grounded, was because they were able to rationalize there's a casino and it's inside of a giant cube and you can walk on walls, and it makes sense because that is true to the Galaxy game, and it's just going to be filled with obscure Super Mario Brothers 2 references for like, I don't know, 7 minutes, and then we're off to something else. And so, you know, we mentioned the babies and the dinosaur, and that's clearly a nod to, I mean, they're with Yoshi and Toad, but like Super Mario Yoshi's Island meets Mario Odyssey is where the T-Rex is from. So they compartmentalized it well.
Yeah, we'd really have to like do our due diligence and figure out what game wasn't referenced in this movie, because the pipes from 3D Land were in there. You had Bowser's Fury was a thing because just the different styles of Baby Bowser and him getting mad. The power-ups were all over the place too, from Galaxy to which one did the drill come into?
I was trying to think of that too. I feel like that might have been Wonder. No?
That's what I was thinking, but it might have been a bit earlier than that.
It could have been like one of the new Super Mario Brothers games, because all of those are the same to me. And there was like 4 of them, so
I know
maybe there. But I feel like it was Wonder.
It's hard to delineate. Then you had the frog suit from Mario Brothers 3, which is one of my favorites. It just made swimming so much easier than back in the day. Just like Flappy Birding it, trying to avoid bloopers and cheeps. The penguin suit shows up, and Toad just like wrecks everything in the penguin suit, which was fantastic.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
The blimp fruit, which it was kind of hilarious. Yoshi eats it and is just floating around for a bit, then becomes a balloon and deflates and defeats Bowser or Baby Bowser Jr. But that was funny. The red star I thought was interesting that just showed up out of nowhere. Like, I don't even remember using it, but it was in Galaxy.
Yeah, that was basically how you beat the final boss in Galaxy, was you got that red star. So the game references that if we combed through that we didn't get pulled from, I'd be more curious as to, was there anything that you thought you were expecting to see and were a little surprised that you didn't? Because for me, it was when they started early with they're all like the cavalcade of ships, right, from Mario Brothers 3. I was like, okay, I know Bowser Jr. is a character, but are we going to get the Koopalings referenced in some capacity here? Because that would also be kind of cool. That never came to be.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's
true.
anything that you were kind of expecting to see or hoping that would get referenced in any capacity that you just like, didn't get it.
I don't think I was really expecting much. I was more expecting them to pull from one or two games as opposed to the entire universe. Like, I have a list here, right? I'm calling it Universes Beyond. You go from Fox McCloud. We'll talk about him in a second. To the spoiler that is Game and Watch much later, which was kind of hilarious when it showed up.
Yeah, loved it.
You had Rosalina, you had Pikmin, you had Dry Bones. We'll talk about most of these. You had Mario Maker, you had 8-bit Bowser operating system. You had Princess
that was really cool.
Daisy, yeah, and just because they were just like plucking. I don't know if it was fan service or it was just like we need to try to maximize every opportunity that we can of references that people want to look forward to.
Yeah, I think it's just from a structural standpoint, they would pigeonhole themselves if they said, okay, we're making a Mario Galaxy movie, but we can only use references from Mario Galaxy because there's one, a finite number, and two, you still want to serve the story. And we can get into whether or not the story was actually good, but I have a feeling whatever they make, Super Mario Brothers World, whatever the third movie is going to be called, it's going to be structured the same in that it is set up to have references kind of littered throughout in a way that hopefully moves the story forward or plot forward in an interesting way. Like you mentioned, Fox McCloud. I did not expect him to be a fairly sizable, significant character, but like you can argue his presence does move the story forward. I'm a little pissed that Nintendo like released an image of him and said he's in the movie like 2 days before the movie came out. That would have been a really awesome, very unexpected moment if they're like, oh, we need a pilot. And I don't know where it was going. I mean, I did because I saw the leak, not the leak, but I knew that Fox was in it. And they even kind of psych you out a little bit, right? I'm like, oh, Captain Olimar is going to land. No, and Pikmin get out, and that was really cute. and if that was a misdirection, and then they like panned out wider and was like, oh my God, there's the R-Wing, and there's like, that would have been a really like jaw dropped. I would have pointed at the screen and been like, I know that guy moment. And it was just ruined because of Nintendo's marketing.
Yeah, I'll be honest with Fox McCloud in the movie. I was taken out of the realm of feeling like I'm in the universe of Mario Galaxy at the time. Like, I love Glenn Powell as an actor. His voice was fine for Fox McCloud, but like...
Yeah, I liked it.
Something about the animation of Fox McCloud just like took me out of the movie, and I felt like I was now in like a Minions or whatever else Illumination makes, right? Despicable Me, because I didn't feel like his character fits the bill when it comes to the Mushroom Universe.
Well, I was a little disappointed in the look of the character. He looked a little too cartoony. I know this is a cartoon, but like he didn't look like Fox McCloud. But we don't have a reference for what Fox McCloud looks like in any modern sensibilities because there hasn't been a Star Fox game in over a decade, I guess, or close to at this point. I don't remember when the last one came out on Wii U. But I don't know. I mean, look, are they setting up something larger? Is Star Fox going to get his own movie? Is there supposedly, I think there was a leak that came out that said there is a new Star Fox game coming this year. So like that would make sense from a tie-in standpoint. It's the same reason why Donkey Kong was in the first one. Recognize the character. Bonanza's coming out, and like here's a legacy character for everybody. I don't think he served the movie well, but you know, he was there.
Yeah, I mean he definitely blended in well with the star ship. Well, I can't. This is eluding me. The Comet Observatory. That's what it's called in Galaxy. Okay. And he was driving that. I really enjoyed his backstory. Very brief, a cool animation style. The only thing I really would have wanted was him to yell "Slippy" when Slippy's warp drive fails. Like, just give me that. That's all I want.
Well, you got do a barrel roll in there twice. So
yeah,
that was the trade-off.
That just reminds me of like Spider-Man. Do a flip. Yay, Spider-Man. I do love, like you said, the Pikmin and Captain Olimar ship coming down and then opening it up, and like it's definitely an IP that Nintendo loves to just do whatever they feel like with it, and that they show up in this like was pleasing.
It was also, I would say it's Miyamoto. I think he's come out and said, I'm putting Pikmin in everything I possibly can, right? So, Mario's his child, so is Pikmin his most recent, I guess. So he still has an infatuation with it, and it was kind of cool that they popped in there for a second. It was fitting. It was fan. I mean, it's all fan service. The whole movie's 90 minutes of fan service, but at least it was like in context to what we were seeing.
Yeah, where you stated that they can do whatever they want when it comes to universe, I saw an article that said that they want to continue to reach audiences that aren't just video gamers, and like I'm fine with them making a Fox McCloud Star Fox game or movie, Star Fox movie, but at the same time they stated like they'll never do a Smash Brothers, which I'm okay with. You'd have to buy a lot of IPs. You'd have to acquire Sonic. Probably get Jim Carrey in there to be Eggman. You'd have to get Solid Snake.
I mean, that would be like the Avengers, right? After all the Nintendo standalone movies. But I don't see a world in which any plot that they actually have makes sense for that, other than them basically rehashing the 1993 film Mortal Kombat, where a bunch of people get invited and they have to go fight. Like when your set pieces are baked into the plot, I just feel like there's no inspiration there. So I do without it. Don't do it, please.
Yeah. Another reference was to Mario Maker at the end. They were building back up Princess Peach's castle in 8-bit, which I loved.
Yeah, that was really cool.
All of the 8-bit, as soon as it showed up, it was just like, yes, this is exactly what I think of when I'm playing a 2D game in 3D. Mario running the gauntlet of Bowser's castle, and Bowser watching it on his little screen, and Peach and Mario in their 8-bit form avoiding the fire towers and then the thwomps. I chuckled real hard when Mario saved Princess Peach with the parasol, and then it was like the flag celebration. But they did way too much.
So, compared to the first movie, then, was it too saturated with things? Was it about on par with what we saw originally, or did you think there was room for more? Because I have mixed feelings on that, but I think that actually skews towards me finding the second movie a little bit better story-wise.
Yeah, I'm okay with the story. The story is fine. It was very saturated because, like, even me who, when I'm playing a game, want to, like, ooh, piece of candy, like, look, that's what that movie was like. It was like, where's the pieces of candy? Where can I find them? Where can I grab them, gravitate towards? And I know that's what they were trying to shoot for, right? Going from Super Mario Brothers 2 enemies to 8-bit to the original fight on NES where Mario is on a bridge, fighting Bowser and the axe. And I was like, as soon as the axe showed up, I was like, oh my god, this is 40 years in the making. I'm so excited. And then when Bowser falls into the lava, I'm like, oh my god, we also waited 10 years since we saw dry Bowser for the first time, so let's go. And it happened. There's just, a lot. Because, like you said, we started out in Galaxy, and then we went to Odyssey because of the skeletons and trying to find out Yoshi.
Yep.
And then we jump back to Mushroom Kingdom, and you really bounced around a lot.
Thoughts on Yoshi, now that you mentioned it?
Why did we pay Donald Glover so much money to just say Yoshi? Like,
I
love Donald Glover.
Yeah, no, I thought the character was serviceable. I thought it was fine.
So, I was thinking about it when Fox McCloud showed up, right? He looked cartoony, and it took me out of it. When Yoshi showed up, it was, like, super cute and adorable, and you're like, I'm already in love with this guy. And
Yep.
when Toad was all like, "Oh, this guy just shows up and we're best friends," it's like, hell yes we are, because it's Yoshi. Like, why would we not? As soon as Yoshi showed up on Super Nintendo for the first time, it was just like, game over. You just made a dinosaur, our friend. He eats fruit. He also eats Koopalings.
He
Spits
poops
them
eggs
out.
and you can throw them at people.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
I know. The funny one was when he ate Kamek and Kamek's glasses were on the egg.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of this you can tell was a labor of love of the source material. I don't think any of it was really pandering, which I guess is the most you could ask for in a film that is one giant marketing tool for Nintendo.
Yeah. Other references, right, is the Super Scope shooting
Yes.
Mario
Which,
and Luigi. Which what?
Which it doesn't make you a baby. I don't know why they needed to do that, I guess.
They had to retcon it. It now makes you a baby.
Well, all right. Speaking of retcon, can we get into the
Don't
portion
do
of the
it.
movie where I turned to my partner. I was like, "Nope, I don't like that at all." Where Rosalina's just like, "Oh, by the way, Peach, you're my sister," and I'm like, "Nah, that's fuck you. That's not. Nope. Didn't care for that at all."
Kind of always knew it, and as soon as it showed up, yeah, it was that guy who pulled out the phone to just like be like, "This is the first reference of this happening." Yes, and
Yeah,
it
no,
is.
it was not in any game. I mean, look, we're combing through the collection of Mario games that exist, which is dozens, right? You might have a page of story. It's not a game that's notoriously or famously known for having the most detailed of lore, but I believe Rosalina is, by definition, an alien, right? So how could she possibly be sisters with Peach, who is she also an alien? Like, are we going to get answers to this? Or is it just we hope that you find this emotional moment significant and we will never discuss it or use it again? Because, I mean, I guess pretend it didn't happen. Not that it really, I'm not offended by it, but I just, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get answers. Honestly, my question to you is, in the next movie, right, where would you like to visit that we didn't visit?
I feel like if there is going to be some continuation of the movie and subsequent spin-offs, I feel like we are going to get a New Donk City reference at some point. I feel like it was probably too similar to the Brooklyn that they had in the first movie, and they wanted to steer away from anything that looked too grounded in real life in the second movie. And so I bet we're going to see some kind of New Donk, Paulina kind of, I don't know, like story plot beat there that's going to, I don't know, do something. I don't know if I want to be there. I don't know if I need to see New Donk City. I don't know if there's anything that I kind of wish I saw. Right? I mean, like, when you look at Mario games, you've got so many of them are like, all right, you have 8 worlds, and here's your snow one, and here's your desert one, and here's your normal one. Like, I don't know if there's a place that's super memorable. I mean, it was cool when the bee showed up for a half second. I was like, all right, cool. Like, that's an actual Galaxy reference in this movie, but I don't think we needed to linger there. I'm surprised it was as short as it was, but okay, like, you got it in. I don't know. I don't know where we would need to go. Did you have a spot in mind that you thought was sorely missing?
So I feel like we have to go the Wario and Waluigi route, right? We have to
yeah.
introduce new enemies at some point. Like, I really enjoyed Bowser Jr., but I always
Yeah, I thought he did a really good job.
got confused with Baby Bowser versus Bowser Jr., and I had to like do some research. Like,
Yes, Baby
Not the same-
Bowser is Bowser as a baby. Baby Jr. is his son. Now, we don't know who the mom is, so that's cool. But we never did. So
and like you said, there are 8 Koopalings, so there's definitely a mom somewhere out there.
or a series of moms.
It's just, I hope not. But there was
Explains
one.
why they're all very different from one another. Maybe there's 8 different moms out there.
There was one particular moment in the movie where, at the beginning, they are Stardust is falling from the sky, and Princess Peach and Mario are staring up, and they're all like, Yoshi's snorting it like Coke and sneezing it out, and Luigi's like throwing it like fanfare. Oh no, Toad like celebrated with it, but either Mario or someone caught one in their hand, and it reminded me exactly of Super Mario RPG when Star Road was destroyed, and it was sprinkling down stars. And I would love to visit Super Mario RPG.
That would be kind of cool, actually. Yeah, or maybe at the very least introduce like Mallow and Gino and some of those characters. That would be. I would argue that would be. There's your deep cut for like Mario stuff to throw in a movie. Just have like Gino pop in for a second, or Mallow start to cry and then it rains. Like that would be kind of cool. That's a good call, actually. Yeah. But to the Stardust point, that is how, as I started playing like a total consumer whore, I started playing Galaxy again the other night, and that's how that game opens. There is a frustratingly long amount of cutscenes that you can't skip ever, and it's actually kind of annoying. But that game starts with like a festival, and then it starts raining star bits, and the Bowser shows up and steals the castle. And that happens in like the first 3 minutes of the game. And I was like, I forgot that they actually, when it had come out, said, we're going to try and infuse a little bit more story into the Mario game. And that was their attempt to do so. And now we have a 90-minute version of it.
And it was very enjoyable. Like you said, it's on par with the first one because of...
I think I liked it a little bit better than the first one. Just marginally better.
I don't have ADHD, but I feel like my ADHD kicked in with that movie because of how much was going on at all times and trying to stare at it. I'm sure at some point I'll scroll through YouTube and press the period button because you can go frame by frame and try to get like as many references as I can to certain things that I might have missed. But I'm still like reeling.
I would kind of like to see it again. I mean, I'm not going to go in theaters and see it again, but I saw the first one and was like, okay, that was not awful, and I enjoyed feeling like a child and seeing some of my favorite things on a movie screen. I don't think that feeling can be recreated very often. But then I watched it again and I was like, this is a really bad movie. This is not a good film. And I think I got halfway through and I was like, I want to go to bed and I don't intend to finish this again. So I don't know if I'll feel that way for the second one, but look, it's a kid's movie starring kids' characters and it's aimed not at 40-year-old adults, right? So can it just exist and be fine? I think yes. I think the answer has to be yes, right? Like it's no point in wasting energy and hating it as a lot of people want to do, but it just it's there.
But to your point, right? Like this movie is solely in Mushroom Kingdom and the Mario Galaxy universe, whereas the first movie, a fourth of it is spent in the real world, and is super awkward. It was like the whole dog scene with plumbing.
Oh
like
yeah,
I get it. They're plumbers, but at the same time, you really felt like this is just some type of Illumination movie that they just felt like doing this, where this dog is pissed at Luigi for waking him up from his nap.
Yes, it was obviously a scene cut from The Secret Lives of Pets that somehow worked its way into this. No, you're right. And look, there is something to be said about the sequel to a film where a lot of the heavy lifting's done already, and you can just be like, right, the first time we see Mario and Luigi, they're doing tricks on motorcycles in the desert. So like we don't need the backstory. If you've seen you're good. Like just kind of go with it, and it does kind of get rid of some of those less than stellar moments where they do need to take time to set things up, even if it's not great in retrospect. I kind of liken it to, and this is probably a tired analogy, but like you can go to Burger King and get a burger and it can still satisfy. It's not the same as having a gourmet chef prepare you a burger, Both I think are good, but sometimes you want to slum it and have a Whopper, and you're totally content with just knowing that it's not good for me, and I could do better, or I can make something myself that's better. But right now, this is satisfying, and I think that's kind of what this movie is to me. It was entertaining. It was enough for me to go, okay, I don't hate Nintendo. But like it's not a stellar movie. It's fast food and it's fine, and we digested it, and in a week we might not remember anything about it. So that's all.
I mean, in 3 days, some things I recalled, you were like, "What? Did that actually happen?"
This is true.
But yeah, compared to the first movie, I feel like I would watch it more. There are just certain things like I love from the first movie, like the penguins. Like I've always been a fan of Mario 64 when penguins show up, and I like the Luma, the like very very depressing Luma that is the jail guard at the
prison
end
guard.
Of the
Yeah, that was a nice bring back, because like, the whole time I'm like, wait, where was the one that was morbidly depressed and wanted everybody to die? He returned. That was cool. But even in replaying Galaxy, I forgot how like actually funny the Luma are, as minimally involved as they are in saying anything or doing anything. They have a pretty strong personality, and I mean I think they're cuter in the game, but it was kind of cool to see them be a part of it.
Yeah, they have bigger personality than Toads, and there's far too many Toads. Although these movies do make the Toads kind of hilarious, that they are like old and young and have glasses and can swim apparently.
The Toads are clearly hired as extras in the movie, other than Captain Toad and the one old like ambassador Toad. They don't. None of them do anything other than walk around in the background. They are the extras.
I do love their like village where they're selling things, and things cost like 2 coins to buy. Yeah. And I like the little nuances. It's definitely worth going to see the movie. I know we spoiled quite a bit, but you will enjoy it more than the first movie if you enjoyed the first movie. If you didn't, it redeems the franchise because you are solely in that universe and get to experience everything that Nintendo wanted to put out. Now that we've grabbed a few power-ups to defeat Bowser Jr. in Slot 1, it's time to stomp out our Resident Evil data from last month and see you in our game that brought us the most nostalgia next week.
See ya!